And if everyone wants to follow Lillian's lead and post kind of where they're coming from in the chat, that'd be great. Sorry, I don't have music like normal this morning. That's my bad. Like we got a few Austins. Great, Boise. Bangalore. We have about 5 different countries right now already, so that's pretty cool. 6, Canada. Virginia and Illinois, 2 states I have lived in before, so I like seeing those. Okay. Awesome. So I think we can go ahead and get started. So hi, everyone. Excited to be here today. Today, we're going to be talking about a new feature that we've released with Journey Designer version 2 that is on the store today. We're calling this feature Decentralized Journey Management. So this feature will allow you at a high level to delegate ownership of your journey tasks and templates to other stakeholders in the organization that are not ServiceNow administrators. And so today's session is part of the Live on ServiceNow, a curated event series to connect you with ServiceNow experts and peers that can help you deploy your products faster. So we hope you can join for all of our webinars that are interesting to you. And here the schedule, you'll see the schedule from the QR code. Awesome. Some quick housekeeping. We did save time at the end for Q&A. Feel free to drop some questions in throughout as I'm going through, and we can make sure we tackle those either throughout or at the end. This will be recorded and it will be posted on ServiceNow community, so you can have it as reference and you can share it with others in your organizations. And of course, after the event, please make sure you complete the survey to provide your feedback. And so I will just start with a quick intro. Hi, everyone. My name is Lucy. I am a principal product manager in the employee workflows group here at ServiceNow. So I own our employee journey management features. So that includes lifecycle events, Journey Designer, Journey Accelerator, and then listening and learning posts as well. And before we really dive in, I do want to just do a quick poll and get an understanding of where everyone on the call is today with their EJM adoption and understanding, right? So, I'm going to launch the poll right now, but just to quickly go over kind of firstly, if you're using Journey Designer or implementing. Secondly, I'm not quite using Journey Designer yet, but I am using Lifecycle Events and or Journey Accelerator. Thirdly, I'm not using any of these EJM features quite yet, but I'm planning to. And then lastly, I am just here to learn. Okay. Give about 20, 30 more seconds. Looks like we have some good participation so far. Okay. Great. I will go ahead and in the poll, it looks like most people are here to learn, which is great. And a lot of people here are not quite using EJM features, but are planning to. And we have some people who are using some EJM features. No one using Journey Designer yet, which makes sense because it is still very new. But I will definitely do a refresher for everyone on EJM and the features before we dive into the kind of main topic. Awesome. Okay. Thanks everyone for that. Very interesting to hear where everyone is. Quick agenda. I kind of mentioned this, but we will do first just an overview of what is EJM and Journey Designer as a refresher, make sure everyone has a baseline understanding. Then I'll talk about what is decentralized journey creation and why did we build this, give some use cases, and then we'll dive into the demo, and then finally Q&A. Okay. So just some quick facts on Journey Designer. As a reminder, this is available for our HRSD enterprise customers. When you install Journey Designer, it will automatically install Journey Accelerator. Journey Accelerator is no longer standalone. It comes with Journey Designer automatically. You do need to be on EC Pro. And so if you do not have EC Pro installed, it will automatically install that as well. And customers must be on Tokyo, at least Tokyo, to use Journey Designer. It's dependent on at least Tokyo. And you need to have kind of lifecycle events for enterprise installed as well. Journey Designer version 1, as a quick reminder, it is available as of the Utah family release, right? It was available as a store app before that, but in the family release, you will see it there. Journey Designer version 2, which is what we're talking about today, is available on the store now, but it will be available in the Vancouver family release as well. And for any customers who want to have more kind of information on how they migrate over to Journey Designer, we have a bunch of information that we'll post some of these resources, including that migration guide later on at the end of the presentation. But we do have some migration resources available to you as knowledge articles and on community as well. And don't hesitate to reach out to me as well if you have questions on that later. Okay. Awesome. So what is employee journey management? Quick overview. Employee journey management enables you to build workflows around those moments that matter, including onboarding, offboarding, leaves, and more. So in these journeys, you can task multiple departments to ensure all of those tasks that need to be done across the organization are complete for that journey. Additionally, and this second one is going to be really a theme today, you can empower stakeholders to build their parts of the journey. So department owners, location-specific HR, and then managers and mentors can include their own tasks in journeys. And so this makes for a very personalized experience for every employee. And this is really what we're going to be focusing on today, because this feature makes this even easier. And lastly, you can empower managers, mentors, and employees to navigate these journeys from Teams, SMS, or any other relevant channels. Okay, I'm going to stop my video for now. Okay, and so what are the features of EJM, right? So I'll just give a quick overview, and I'm going to start with this middle layer here, right? So previously, before Tokyo, we had two different features for building employee journeys for customers. First, lifecycle events. Lifecycle events enables you to orchestrate those cross-departmental activities for any sort of complex employee transition. I think most people here are probably familiar with lifecycle events, but it's been around for a while. There's lots of great resources if you want to learn more about lifecycle events. Secondly, we introduced Journey Accelerator, which allows you to either supplement a lifecycle event or create a standalone journey with sets of tasks associated to an audience and a journey type. So you can create simpler journeys, and then managers and mentors can add their own tasks as well using Journey Accelerator. Now, we heard from customers that having these two different methods for providing journeys to employees was a little bit cumbersome for employees, right? They had two different places to go. Additionally, we really wanted to rethink the user experience of navigating a journey. So in kind of the Tokyo timeframe, we released Journey Designer, which brings together lifecycle events and Journey Accelerator into kind of one journey experience for employees, managers, and mentors, right? So the backends are the same. There's a new kind of journey layer that brings those together from an admin side, but then for the employees on the employee center side, there's really one place to go. And we've also kind of added a bunch of really cool new features, like the ability to send personalized messages, embedded learning using learning posts as well as listening posts, and some other great new features. And so if you're really more interested in learning about the basics of Journey Designer, there is another academy session or live on ServiceNow webinar rather that I did on Journey Designer version 1 that will also be linked in the resources. So definitely recommend referencing that as well. Okay. So now to dive into the problem we are solving with decentralized journey management. So here on the left, we have kind of the hierarchy of a journey. On the bottom, we have those organizational activities required for an employee to navigate the journey. And that's where lifecycle events really enables you to build that process. Now, on top of that, you might have your department, your role, or your location-specific activities that might also be required for a journey. I'll give an example. So you might have an organizational offboarding process, right? But then on top of that, each country might have its own specific tasks that need to be done for offboarding within that country. So you can use lifecycle events, or you can use Journey Accelerator to support these location-specific activities. Journey Accelerator allows for more flexibility. It's much quicker to implement, much simpler, right? So there are some benefits of using Journey Accelerator versus lifecycle events. But we definitely see a lot of customers like looking to Journey Accelerator to solve for that use case. And then on top of that, we have our manager or team activities that Journey Accelerator supports, adding those Journey Accelerator tasks to the journey. But today we're going to focus on this middle layer. So going back to that offboarding example, let's say you choose to use Journey Accelerator to support these location-specific activities. So today, the HR administrator or the journey administrator must manage all of the Journey Accelerator configurations and task templates. They would likely work with HR in that different location to define the content needed. They define the content, but the HR or journey admin has to go and build all of that content in ServiceNow. And all of those changes also must go through that admin. However, with decentralization, the HR teams in the specific locations or whoever's responsible for that content can actually manage the content for their locations directly in the Employee Center Pro. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So at a high level, admins assign ownership of the Journey Accelerator plan configurations to the non-admin owners. These owners can manage these plan configurations as journey and task templates in the Employee Center with oversight from the admin. So what this will do is really let you expand your reach of journeys without burdening the HR admin. You can enable these owners to create the content they need in ServiceNow from the channel that they are used to working in, which is EC Pro, not the platform side. The result is a more personalized journey for your employees. Okay. And with that, I'll just give one more example on top of the offboarding example, and then I'll dive into the demo. Okay, so looking at this first one, Company A uses Journey Accelerator to build department and role level onboarding tasks. However, there are over 200 plan configurations representing each of the departments and roles that have their own sets of tasks. The HR or journey admin must maintain and coordinate all of these different plan configurations and the content that goes in them with those different departments. However, after decentralizing, the right owners in those departments can actually manage the onboarding tasks for the departments and roles and submit changes for approval once complete. And this is the example we're going to dive into more today. Okay. So with that, I will switch into the demo. Okay. So I'm going to use ServiceNow as an example here, but the ServiceNow sales team wants to create a new set of onboarding activities for all new entry-level sales employees. So Haley is in the sales org. She's responsible for defining the onboarding content for the sales organization. So Emily reaches out to Cameron, who's the HR admin, to request that this content get created. And, she wants it to be a part of, all the other onboarding content that gets created for any new employee, right? She wants it to be aligned and in the same experience as all that organizational onboarding that also goes on for all of these new hires. So Cameron and Haley are going to work together to get this new hire content embedded into journeys. And so with Journey Designer version 2, Cameron is going to assign Haley as the owner of the content, and then she can manage it herself from the Employee Center. And then John, who is in a talent team, and he's responsible for making sure that all onboarding processes are clean. He's going to be the approver in this example. Okay, and with that, I will move over into the demo. Okay, so I'm logged in right now as Cameron, the admin. Okay, so the admin is in Journey Accelerator on the platform side, and he can see all of the Journey Accelerator plan configurations representing different sets of tasks for different journeys. And he's going to go ahead and he's going to create a new one for these entry-level sales employees. Okay. So this is kind of how he sets up this set of tasks. So he's going to call it entry-level sales onboarding template, and he's going to give this an audience. So we have an audience created for sales level 1, right? So this plan configuration would apply to any new hire with the sales level 1 audience. And he's going to associate this to a plan type. This is how we associate Journey Accelerator to a very specific type of journey, such as new hires or onboarding. And I'm going to copy this title and submit. So now this shell has been created, and I'm going to jump back in and assign it an owner. Okay, so now we'll see here that we can create stages and task templates within this plan configuration. So this is where you can actually define the tasks, the content that goes into this plan configuration. But first, I'm going to click into this plan config owners and approvers, and I'm going to select new. And this is where I can assign Haley as an owner. Okay, I can assign co-owners as well. Co-owners would have the same capabilities as the owner, but for now, I'm just going to keep it to Haley. And this is also where I can assign approvers. So John is going to be the approver in this example. I'll also point out that approvers is an optional field. So if there are no approvers defined, then all changes that we make on the Employee Center side would get made automatically. So this is definitely optional. But for now, let's have John as the approver. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and add stages. So as the admin, I do want to provide some consistency in the stages that are created. And so I'm going to add a week 1 and a month 1 stage because I think that all of the content that goes that is relevant for this audience can happen in week 1 or month 1. And also just to give Haley something to start with. Okay. Great. So now I am going to log in as Haley and now show you how Haley can access this plan configuration. I'm going to switch over and I'm going to log in as Haley. Okay, so I am logged in as Haley in the Employee Center. So once Haley was made the owner of that plan configuration, she would receive an email. And now she would have access to journeys here. And when she navigates to journeys, she'll see that she has a tab for journey templates. Now, journey templates is the kind of front end term for plan configuration, right? So she'll see that she has a few here that she's assigned owner of. First, I'll just show this one here because she's already the owner of one that's published. So I'll just open this one up and show you what this looks like. So this is a published journey template. She can see that she's the owner. She can see who the approvers are when it was last updated. And she can see all of the task templates that are included in this journey template, right? So she can see what happens in week one, month 1, month 2. And she can make edits if she wants because she's the owner. Okay, but for now, we're going to go back to the one that we just created that's still in draft state. Okay, great. We'll see that now that she's the owner, she can see the audience again, as well as the approvers. And she can see these 2 stages that are already created for her. But she's going to actually kind of jump into week 1, and she's going to go ahead and add a task template. Now she has 2 task templates that she wants to add for this audience. So there's 2 specific tasks that she wants to make available for everyone who is a sales level 1. So first she's going to build one from scratch because it doesn't exist quite yet. Okay, and she wants them to sign up for a mentorship program. Okay, so there's maybe a mentorship program available for entry-level sales employees. And I'm just going to put in a link here, but you get the point. You can add different links in here, videos as well. And she's going to add a due date, and she wants this to be due, 1 week after this journey has been published for this, for any new hire. Okay, great. So that one's been included. She'll see that it's not yet published, right? Because she hasn't submitted it for approval. So she's going to keep going, and she's going to add one more task template, but this time she's going to use, she's actually going to use a task template and not build from scratch. So she can use any of the task templates that she has available to her, either because she's created some previously and saved them as task templates, or because other people have and she has access to those, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and add this one here just to show you how this works. Okay. And I'll point out that there's 3 types of JA tasks you can add into this journey template. We have a task type for schedule a meeting. This is based on an integration with Outlook, in which you can directly schedule meetings directly from the Journey Accelerator task. You can take a learning course. This is using Learning Posts. If you want to use Learning Posts, you can actually bring in courses directly from your LMS and have those embedded into the tasks as well, or just kind of a general to-do. And she's going to go ahead and add this template here. Okay, great. Now, so these are 2 unpublished tasks. And so she could keep going, but she is actually done, right? There's only 2 that would only apply to this audience for now. Before she publishes it, she'll see that she has the option to preview. So she has 2 ways to preview. First off, she can just preview this template, right? So this is actually just going to enable her to see what these 2 tasks would look like for the employee. Okay, but the more interesting way to preview would actually be to preview this as an employee. And what this would do is actually enable her to see what this would look like for an employee in the sales level 1 group, right? So Andrew, it meets that audience criteria. So she can actually see what these 2 task templates would look like amidst all of the other tasks that Andrew, if he were going through a new hire journey, would have in his journey. The point of this is really to enable Haley to really understand what are the other tasks that would be included in a journey, make sure things are not repetitive, make sure there aren't too many tasks for any one person, right? Maybe 10 is a lot for one new hire. And maybe this warrants some consolidation. And here she can actually see where all of the other tasks are coming from, right? So there's another journey template just for everyone in sales, right? So maybe there's some duplication here, and she can work with the owner of this plan configuration, or this journey template rather. Okay, so this just lets her see kind of what this overall journey would look like. The exception being that, obviously the lifecycle events would not appear in this preview. This would be everything coming from the Journey Accelerator side. Okay. And again, she can also see the sources here. So these are all the different journey templates that would apply to Andrew in this case. Okay. Great. And when she's done, she can just end that preview. And now I'm going to go ahead and submit this for to be published. Okay. So I can add some additional details and press submit. Great. Okay, so now once I've submitted this, I cannot edit it until I either cancel the approval request that I just submitted or the approval gets completed. So I'll see that it's awaiting approval. Still, these 2 new task templates I added are unpublished until that approval is complete. And so now I will switch over and show how John. Let me just log in real quick. So John, as a reminder, is a member of the talent team. And in this example, John is going to be responsible for just making sure that everything is ready to go. Apologies. And John will be able to access all of the approvals also in the Employee Center. Amrita, while I'm pulling this up, are there any questions that might be worth answering right now?
Let me see. We do have one question. We've not upgraded from EC to EC Pro. Is the Journey Designer function overall look and feel the same in Employee Center?
So just to clarify, so I think what you mean is Employee Service Center versus Employee Center Pro. And if that's the case, then everything that we are showing here is dependent on Employee Center Pro. So you will need to migrate from Employee Service Center to Employee Center Pro to actually utilize Journey's functionality. Okay. If there's any follow-up questions, we can definitely talk about that more in the after the demo. Okay. Amrita, can you also confirm that you're back to seeing my my homepage, Employee Center homepage?
I can, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so just to kind of finish off this demo, I'm logged in as John, the approver. And one thing I want to point out that John and Haley in these examples have no special roles, right? They're just the owners and the approvers. There's no special role needed to do any of this other than just being assigned as either of those 2 roles. Okay, and he'll see here that he actually has the ability to approve. Okay, so he has this approval work item, so approval request for the entry-level sales onboarding template. He can see that it was requested by Haley, who this applies to, and the 2 new task templates that he's being asked to approve. If he wants more details, he can actually just jump into one of these task templates, and he will be taken into the Journey template. As the approver, he cannot add things to it, but he can view it. So he can see both of these task templates that are out for approval, look at the details. And when he is ready to approve or not approve, he has 2 options. So he can either reject, and if he rejects, he can send back comments. And then once it's rejected, Haley would get notified. Her changes would not be erased. Rather, they would just go back into that unpublished state. She would be able to see the comments left by John. She can make some changes and resubmit for approval. But right now, I'm just going to go ahead and approve. Okay, great. He has completed that approval. And now I will go back as Haley, and we will go back into Journeys and see the changes. So now, now she can see that this is published. And so if she jumps in, she'll see that she has 2 tasks that were recently published. And then she can continue to edit if she needs to. She adds any new task templates, they would be put into the unpublished state and would need another approval. But she can see these are new, and any other owners can come in and see the same view. And the last thing I will point out is if I go back to my Journeys page, there was also a field on the plan configuration that is called visible to others. And this enables you to actually have owners be able to see other people's templates, right? So let's say that Haley wants to actually see maybe what other departments are creating or locations, right? If that checkbox is checked on the plan configuration level, she can actually see other templates that other people have created and own. She can obviously not edit these, right? Because she is not the owner herself, but she can just view them. And this is also what dictates whether they would appear in that preview, right? So there are some of these templates that you do not want viewable in the preview or to owners. You can have that checkbox unchecked. And just to remind you what that checkbox was, it's here, that visible to all owners. Okay. And one also thing before I close out, this feature is optional, right? So if you are using Journey Accelerator or you want to use Journey Accelerator, but you want to keep this as an admin function, right? You do not want to open this up to plan to owners and approvers in the employee center. You want to keep this managed on the admin side. You do not have to, everything is still, admins can still have their same capabilities they do today. They simply would just not, you just simply would not want to use this tab here. And with that, I will close out the demo, and I will, I'm going to navigate quickly back to, I'm going to stop my sharing for a second and go back to the presentation. Okay.
We have a few questions, if you're open to taking questions.
Yes, perfect.
One of the questions is this only available in Utah? I'm using Tokyo demo and want to know how I can have this available so I can learn and work with.
Yes, so actually this feature is unfortunately dependent on Utah. And so I get my recommendation would be you can have this, if you want to play around with it, you can get it into a personal development instance. But otherwise, unfortunately, yes, you do need to be on Utah in order to install this feature on your instance.
Yeah. And the next question from Laurel is, how do you decide when to use lifecycle events to build tasks versus when to use Journey Accelerator? If you want an HR admin to own a task, would you still use Journey Accelerator?
Great question. So lifecycle events enables you to coordinate all those different HR tasks or services for a journey. So with lifecycle events, you have more complex task types. So the ability to facilitate signing documents, submitting IT requests, order guides, being able to kind of facilitate maybe some compliance training, anything that you need to be kind of either done, you either need to have tracked as a part of a process, or you need HR or IT, you need a fulfiller to complete that task. That would stay in the lifecycle event. So one thing that we recommend is if it's an activity that really has to be done, for whatever reason, it's, required as part of that journey. The person has to do X, Y, or Z to be ready to go day one, or in order to complete that offboarding process. And if there's any dependent activities on that activity, that should be in the lifecycle event, right? Lifecycle events has a lot more capabilities around making sure, things are done in the right order, and you have that lifecycle event builder to facilitate the process. Now, Journey Accelerator is much simpler, right? It's simpler types of tasks without a ton of logic around, when things are triggered based off what, right? So this might be great for, maybe you want to get something out the door a little bit quicker and it doesn't require as much complexity, right? Then Journey Accelerator might be simpler or might be the best option for you. And so that's kind of one way we look at it, right? Simpler types of tasks, easier to build, easier to manage, but without a lot of the power that lifecycle events has. And so I'm also happy to take this as a follow-up conversation if that's something that you want to talk about a little bit further. And to answer the second part of that question, if it's something you want the HR admin to own, it depends. So the HR admin today owns both the lifecycle event tasks and the Journey Accelerator tasks. Only with this new feature can you actually assign ownership outside. But even then, the HR admin still has kind of that ownership capability built into their role. So I hope that answered that question. Again, feel free to reach out to me separately, and I'd be happy to talk through your use cases and help you kind of figure out what the best way to facilitate the task you're trying to facilitate.
Thank you, Lucy. We have one last question in the Q&A.
Okay.
Can the existing tasks be edited? Assume that would trigger reapproval and move the plan back to unpublished state.
Great question. So the approval process we have out of the box is such that if you're adding net new task templates, so I'm adding a new task template and submitting that would require a new approval. However, if you're just editing it, then that would not require an approval. Now that logic can be modified with some customization, right? But the reason we did that is because what we don't want is, let's say that I own, going back to that new hire, entry-level sales, new hire example, there's a task template in there that the one we used for that mentorship, signing up for that mentorship program. So let's say the link for that has changed, right? And so that's really just going and updating that link versus actually going and creating a new task template. We decided not to automatically trigger an approval for that use case in order to really make this more seamless for those owners. So Haley could go in, she could modify the link without needing to wait on the approval. However, if she needed to create a new task template, that would require an approval. Again, this can be customized to modify this approval logic, but out of the box, net new things would require an approval, and modification to existing task templates would not.
Makes sense. Those were the questions, I think. Yeah, all set on questions.
Okay. Any other questions? I will just quickly share this last slide, and all of these resources are available in Community Today. So the migration guide I mentioned to help you migrate maybe from your existing lifecycle events, Journey Accelerator world to Journey Designer. If you want to learn more about Journey Designer version 1, definitely recommend watching the previous live on ServiceNow webinar. I also posted some lifecycle events information as well as kind of our Now Create Success Pack for that. So thank you, Amrita, for putting that into the chat. And with that, if there are no other questions, I think that comes to the end of this webinar, and this is what will be available. This is what is available in Journey Designer version 2. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out either to Live on ServiceNow, or you can reach out to me as well. So thank y'all so much. Okay.